And one of the appeal's biggest campaigns, which we've been running now for a number of years, is This Is Me initiative, set up just 3 years ago following the success of Barclays' own This Is Me campaign. And the aim of This Is Me, as Lorraine indicated, is to reduce the stigma of mental health, dispel those myths around mental health in the workplace, and indeed raise awareness of well-being. As we've heard, mental health is something that affects us all. John indicated that 1 in 4 of us can become mentally unwell, and stigma around mental health often means that people are prevented from talking about and dealing with their ill health. Of course, that makes it even worse. And work itself can be a huge and big contributor, again, as we can all respect. We spend a lot of time at work, so it has a big influence on our mental health and our well-being. And having a fulfilling job can be good for mental health and general well-being. But of course, being unhappy at work can have the opposite impact. And as people who are proud to work in the city, we really have to be aware of the stresses that the working life in this busy, bustling area can have. And while stress isn't a mental health problem necessarily in itself, it often leads to the depression, the anxiety, the self-harm, and in many sad cases, even suicide. But the elements that we saw on that excellent video a little earlier. Why is it relevant for diversity and for inclusion? An inclusive organisation by its very nature should be one in which people feel able to share their mental health and look after their own well-being. And groups that tend to be underrepresented in the workplace also tend to be those who have a higher likelihood of suffering from mental ill health. For example, the Mental Health Foundation research shows that ethnic groups experience more work-related stress, particularly African Caribbean women, which has been linked to reported incidents of racism. Our This Is Me campaign aims to support businesses, to support employees by raising awareness of mental health. And since its launch, we are proud to say that 550 organisations have now registered with This Is Me. And with This Is Me Northwest launching in May earlier this year, and This Is Me Scotland launching in next week, we are taking this nationally. Around 150 of these organisations have now shared their employee stories, and in our 2018 survey, we measured the impact of sharing these stories and the impact that that has had within the organisations surveyed. And I'm delighted to say that it has made a real difference. Monitoring against 10 measures based on recommendations from Time to Change and Thriving at Work review, we can see that the organisations that share their employees' stories are making significant progress to transform organisational culture around mental health and its attached stigma. Indeed, 100% of our organisations surveyed believe that This Is Me campaigns have made a positive impact on 1, changing the attitudes towards mental health, 2, on the numbers of conversations around mental health, and 3, on dispelling the myths. And we are delighted, really delighted to be able to say that this programme has also received governmental recognition through the Inclusive Economic Partnership. This Is Me, early in the year, was selected as one of the 18 chosen programmes. Also, as part of the Lord Mayor's appeal, one of the charitable partners that I mentioned earlier this year, and as we progress forward, is the Samaritans. And we've challenged each of our partner charities to use the funds that we generate for them through the Lord Mayor's appeal to generate, as we call them, groundbreaking programmes. And in the case of the Samaritans, we launched earlier this year Wellbeing in the City, and that is a mental health awareness and listening skills course which is free to everyone and specifically devised and designed for UK financial and professional services. And I would encourage everyone in this room, please, to take that out of the room at the end of this session.